Quantum level. Quantum level. Quantum level. Quantum level.
could free my mind and nothing's gonna take control. I need something that I could never find, boy, you got it and it ain't for sure. Hey, oh baby, won't you take my hand and never ever let me go? But it's time for us to take our stand, show the world that we're a miracle. That's all I wanted from you, a little more attitude. Oh, how can I refuse? 'Cause you're the one that I choose. 'Cause all I wanted from you was for our love to pull through. There's nothing else I can do, but you're the pressure to keep me away from you, and I don't know any better, so I run right back to you. Whoa, run right back to you. Whoa, so I run right back to you. So I run right back to you.
Get down with it. Get down with it. 1, 2, and 3. Get down with it. Hit me. One, 2, and 3. And fuck you. Get down with it. Get down with it. 1, 2, and 3. Get down with it. Hit me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Champions League Round 3. My name is Retro, and we have a pretty good matchup here between Arctic Wolves and Eternity. They are currently pretty high placed in their league, or Arctic Wolves are anyway. Eternity are all the way down at the bottom, fighting for some more points. I do believe that they still don't have any points. I thought that they would have snatched at least one in their previous matchup, but as it's coming back to me now, I do believe it was almost points, as I do believe it ended up 7-5, and they just weren't able to snatch that point. Arctic Wolves, on the other hand, are second on the leaderboard in Champions League, just below Eterno, who have been absolutely tearing through the league so far. They have won all of their games, and the only one that they didn't get maximum points on, they ended up getting 2 points from. So they are currently at just about maximum points in the league so far. Arctic Wolves just below them. They are looking to not overtake them, but sit just below them, as they are on 10 points. Eterno are on 17. And of course, maximum points from a single game is 6. As you get 3 for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime win, 1 for an overtime loss, and nothing for a regulation loss. And without any further ado, it is Oregon. The bans have already come out. Very interesting bans as well. It was a Flores, followed by Thatcher and Solis, and then the brand new operator of Fenrir. Now, Fenrir wasn't allowed in the season, or in the season in Revival League Season 2, wasn't allowed for that first round, but for round 2 and round 3, he has been getting a lot of playtime. So we've actually gotten to see him quite a bit, although not that much. I think he's still very new, and a lot of teams don't really know where to place him in a lot of their lineups. We've seen a lot of teams have to adapt to certain changes that have come about with the season. For example, a lot of teams are bringing operators they never really would have brought before, such as this Ela. Very rarely would you see an Ela get brought. She was definitely not a meta pick. But of course, people have had to, and teams have had to make certain changes due to, most notably, Smoke losing his shield. There have been a lot of changes in this season, but that one has been the biggest and most impactful one for a lot of teams, where Smoke losing his shield basically means that a lot of positions that you normally would hold, you cannot hold anymore. So, for example, that shield that we just saw Perpy set up would normally be the secondary shield brought by the team, which typically would be the Warden. Warden would bring the shield. That shield would get placed in that position, and then Smoke would bring his shield, which would go into the elbow position. But of course, without Smoke having his shield, they have to bring an extra operator that has a shield, or just forego the shield completely, which has been very interesting seeing which operators teams go for. Here we see Ela being brought instead of somebody else. A lot of times we've seen Tachanka get brought in that position, completely replacing Smoke, just due to the fact that they are both entry denial or area denial operators. So very good operator there, or very interesting seeing that. Fenrir, of course, the new operator. A lot of teams just decide to outright ban him, as of course they still don't really know how he works, how to counter him, how to play against him. So they just decide to ban him outright, and Tash with the opening pick onto Thuder, who was trying to play for his life there inside of CCTV, but the drones were active, so were the Lion scans as well from Park, and they were able to pick up that operator and that player very quickly. Luckily, it was Jaeger, whose utility is already placed down. It's not somebody whose utility regenerates or is more impactful later on, like, for example, the Wamai or the Warden, who of course become impactful more as the round goes on. Tash pushing down these freezer stairs, getting challenged from 2 different angles. A grenade will come up, but of course it will get caught by one of those Wamai magnets, and the Wamai will throw down another one, although I can't... Oh, no, there we go. He got shot as he got stuck on the locker. Wasn't able to get far, and that's not going to be able to catch another grenade. We see him shoot out that observation blocker as well. We've already seen them get placed down. Very interesting gadget, the new secondary defender gadget, as Perpy goes down to Perpy takes care of Park, who's trying to push down these laundry stairs. Of course, his E1V Lion scans have also gone with him. Flashbang's coming out to clear the utility, and then the grenade to clear out that shield, force Eternity into a bit of a pickle there as they clear themselves up at least another angle. Emiterm throwing out a couple more of those smoke babes, just trying to hold off these attackers for as long as possible, force them to wait before they can push down. But I'm Just a Noob is pushing down those back stairs, or those freezer stairs rather, and takes care of Ren, who is still trying to hold on inside of freezer. Now with freezer control from I'm Just a Noob, and that final smoke babe getting placed or getting deployed on those laundry stairs.
15 seconds to go.
Arctic Wolves definitely have an entrance and definitely have an in into the site. I'm Just a Noob is I'm just too aware of where these players are. Glorious does get attached, but of course he's in a 1 versus 3. Twifton's on very, very low HP, so that could effectively be a 1 versus 2, but he's looking the wrong way. Could just be getting taken down, but I'm Just a Noob. But no, it's Chips with a swing all the way from inside of Laundry to pick up that final kill, win the round there for Arctic Wolves. And first round done and dusted, going the way of Arctic Wolves, who are building themselves an even bigger base so far in this season. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Eternity are one of 2 teams currently still chasing points. Lumina are right there beside them, or right there below them by 3 rounds. Round difference. So Eternity definitely looking to get up some points, and I've said this before throughout round 2 and round 3 is the points yet aren't that important. At the very least in the Champions League, where top 6 places get promoted into the playoffs, the bottom 2, top 4. Is it top 4 now? That was top 6. Okay, well then it's a little bit more of a critical situation, as I kept thinking that it was top 6 to get promoted. It is apparently top 4, as I have just now found out. So it is definitely a more dire of a situation for both Eternity and Lumina Gaming, the 2 teams still on 0 points. But of course, it is round 3 of round 7, and whether it's top 6 or top 4, it doesn't really change much of what I've been saying, and that is that points don't really become that important until round 4. That is really when, if you don't have any points, you need to start getting them, and you need to start getting them quick if you want any chance of qualifying into the playoffs, and especially if you want to keep your place in the Champions League come next season, where the bottom 2 relegate, or potentially could relegate down into the Premier League. So Eternity and Lumina both should definitely start looking to getting some points in the next round if they are not able to pick up any. Of course, Lumina have already played their round 3 games, so they are definitely looking to pick up some in their next matchup, whereas Eternity still have a opportunity to pick up some points in this matchup against Arctic Wolves right here and now. They are attacking onto that top floor first, and it's a bit of a late Swampy coming out from Tudor, who is still just as aggressive on that bottom floor as he has been so far. This time he was with the opening kill rather than the opening death. The Glorious taking down Tash. That is the second death on the side of Arctic Wolves. He tried to impact trip that wall, just did unnecessary damage to himself instead, and wasn't able to prevent that wall getting opened up. Now that they have an inside of Gaming Room, they will also be trying to put up or get themselves an entry point all the way from inside of Attic as well. Push Eternity into a bit of a corner while they're trying to attack in a 3 versus 4. A Glorious in that position, right up on the breach. I do believe we saw him in that exact position before against other teams, where he's just beautiful display of patience, where he's just sitting in that corner and waiting for people to push him. And this time it's not going to work as well, considering that Chips knows his position, but it's Ren there with the counter swing to pick him up instead. And now Twift could just be the victim, but no, he's there with the perfect swing, gets the beautiful headshot kill. Twift still pushing on. Par going down, as he was his only backbone in this situation, and now in a 1 versus 3 from a prone angle, he will get a down onto Perpy. There goes the knife for the finisher. Flashbang going now. He's got only the Deagle in hand, and he's going to be pushing in. He's going to get another down, but it's Ren with another beautiful swing to get that kill and to finish another round. Eternity put themselves on the board, equalize the scoreline at 1 round apiece, and carry us further through this matchup. Of course, it is a best of 2, so as I said before, 6 rounds, or 6 points rather, up for grabs. And Eternity, with putting themselves on the board very, very quickly, could just be looking at some of those points. I think a lot of people, went into this one expecting Arctic Wolves to just be taking it by storm, and there's still a chance for them to do that. So Arctic Wolves definitely are the clear favorites, but Eternity are nothing if not very, very rigid, and definitely don't give anything away without a fight. I think a lot of their games went down to that 7-4, 7-5, very, very close to overtime. They just weren't able to carry it across the finish line to said overtime. They are definitely not one of those teams that you expect to be an easy win. They definitely make you work up a sweat. They could just be picking up some points here, but they're going back down to the basement site. They were not able to hold on to it that first time around. They got that opening kill onto, they lost that opening kill onto Tudor, who did manage to get the opening kill in the previous round. So hopefully this time they're going to be able to hold on to that player into that position a little bit longer, and they are going to be able to do a little bit more damage. But Tudor is already under pressure, and he goes down yet again as the first player. Twift is looking to pick up a very, very cheeky kill from a very cheeky angle onto Perpy, who is not aware of him there. He was just in those final seconds of his life, but he was not able to pick that up. And Arctic Wolves pick up the first kill again, and then some as well. Glorious C4 gets shot away as well. Or does it? What? Oh, that was a C4, wasn't that? It might have been an ADS from the Jaeger. That's the only thing that I would think of it to be, or maybe it was just an odd. It could have been a drone. I'm not really sure what that was, but in any case, Glorious has to drop away from his position on the top of the freezer stairs as he is getting pressured from both that freezer hatch and from the stairs themselves. There goes the C4 that I thought got shot, but no. It gets deployed. Ren does pick up the kill onto Twift. Finally brings the man count a little bit closer to even. But with 90 seconds still to play out, Arctic Wolves have more than enough positions, more than enough people, more than enough utility to do what they need to do here. 2 players only on site as Ren has made his way all the way to the top floor and is looking to maybe go for a late flank, trying to find some kills from the upper floor, which is definitely something that he could be ending up doing here, but of course, there's no information, and he's the only one up there. It's going to be very, very difficult to actually achieve something on that. On that note, I do believe that they have drones as well watching him, but if they do, Twift currently isn't looking at them, so he could just be getting away with it. But Park is there. The active flank watch, and Ren just tried to get it. Or actually, no, Ren did get it. That was Atash in sight, picking up the rest of the pieces, and I'm just a noob is there as well to pick up what was left of a Glorious. The final kill going the way of Arctic Wolves again, and Arctic Wolves were, despite the late flank success from Ren, were able to translate that opening pick into the round win yet again, and I think that it's really proving that basement is just not the site for Eternity at this current point in time. They struggled on it the first time. They got that opening death. They weren't able to recover from it. Second time around, they picked up some of those kills after again losing that opening kill or opening death rather. They just were not able to recover from it twice in a row. That dorm site, that upper floor site, they were able to pick up quite a lot of momentum from that as they got that opening kill. And they just kept rolling with it, and they were able to get around from a 3 versus 1 position. But that basement site is just not their strong point, and they're going down to kitchen and meeting. A site that typically ends up being that tertiary site, but for them it might have to become a secondary site just because of how much they're struggling on that basement site. luckily, they still have another mid-floor site to go through should they win this round. They still have kitchen and dining, which is far less favorable than the kitchen meeting site, especially because it's so much harder to retake it should you lose control early. But it is a site that is available to them should they need it and aren't comfortable going back downstairs. I'm just a noob. And Tash are already making quick work of taking control of this side of the map. They, of course, noticed that, or droned it out, rather. Droned out the fact that they've castled off that dining door and that it's clear for attack, so they took that space up very, very quickly, and now we're putting pressure onto the site itself. Thuder trying to hold on to a faraway angle to maybe pick up a kill onto Chips, who is just swinging around that desk as well. Park, in the opening engagement against Perpy, takes him down, leaves himself on just a sliver of HP, but no matter, he got that opening kill yet again. And Arctic Wolves, for the third time rather, in this matchup, are at the advantage. Thuder still trying to fight off these attackers that are not going to begin pressuring him from two different places. Ran nearly getting taken down from a vertical grenade, but it missed him by just a little bit. Thuder with a kill onto Chips. Park on such low HP, he might as well be dead. That could be another opening for Eternity, but instead it will be Twiff with a kill onto Ren. That is a very, very important player there. It's Ren, the current top fragger of this team, and of course the Warden. You don't want to lose that operator so early on. Thuder will take a kill onto I'm Just a Noob, but now Arctic Wolves, or the remains of Arctic Wolves, are all damaged quite a bit, so could be just the round that Eternity are looking for.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
With this wall open now, Tash is looking for a way into sight, but he's getting challenged from inside of the CCTV. He does swing on and get the kill onto Emi-Term. Meanwhile, Glorious did manage to find a kill onto Park. And now that leaves us in a 2 versus 2. Thuder not really able to push in from that rotate. I think it's a little too small, and Tash will find the kill onto Thuder. Twift is there, very, very patient, waiting for the return of a Glorious, and he will find that kill. And now Eternity are being put into a position where they have not really any sites to stand on. I mean, they did win that dorm site, which I do believe will be the site that they will try and go defend again now that it has unlocked itself. But if that had been a fluke, and if that was, you know, the only round that they were able to win due to luck or just Arctic Wolves not having enough information about the way that they defend it, now it could just be
Defenders, protect your bomb.
that Eternity have no sites that they are comfortable on, and that will really put them on a back foot, as they have already lost 3 rounds, so they are trailing 2 rounds, and they really don't want to end this half and go into the attacking half, or the attacking side of Oregon at such a deep disadvantage. Of course, Oregon is one of the most defender-sided maps that we have in the league. It is well over 60% defender-sided, so Eternity losing this many rounds on the defensive half is really, really not going to bode well for them, especially for Arctic Wolves, who, as well as we've seen them be really, really good on attack, they are absolutely explosive on the defense, and we've seen that time and time again on numerous maps. Of course, they are last season's champions as well, so they are defending that title, or looking to defend it this season, and they are definitely not an easy fish to fry. Perpy going for a bit of a spompy, getting immediately shut down by Chips. Very, very unlucky there for Eternity to lose that opening pick yet again and put themselves at an early disadvantage. Glorious getting droned out as well inside of Trophy Room. Could just be getting taken down, and as he swings onto that door, he just narrowly avoids getting his head taken off. He does run away back into site, deciding maybe that wasn't really worth it to peek it, but Emi-Term is looking, well, maybe it is worth for me to peek it if you are not going to do it. The attic wall is also getting opened up swiftly and quietly by Twift, as of course he is the Maverick, and the Maverick Torch is very, very quiet, but Emi-Term is going to be aware of that wall getting opened up. He's not going to give too much away. A Glorious up on that breach, just trying to prevent it from getting opened up any further. This time I do believe that backtrack worked, as Emitter picked up the first kill onto Tash. Justin Noob immediately with the follow-up onto Studer. What brilliant swing there from Chips to take down a Glorious. Ren is there with the follow-up onto Justin Noob. Ren trying to go for a flank. He does manage to get out onto Chips. That is Diffuser now in control of Eternity. Twift still trying to push up from this backside, nearly flashing himself and preventing himself from pushing on any further. Ren is now holding on to that Diffuser with his life already inside of that closet space. Emitter still trying to hold off Twift. Meanwhile, Park is rotating around to that front side of the map and is going to try and put some pressure onto the defenders from there, and he will manage to translate that pressure into a kill as he takes down Emitter, leaving Ren in that 1 versus 1. He does take down one of them. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Ren versus Park. Park will take that Diffuser. Ren, full flashed, is going to have to win this round. But those scans are coming out. They know exactly where Park is. Ren will be rotating around into bedroom. The scans are coming out. He whiffs just a little bit. And now with the Bailiff in hand, which doesn't do very much damage even at close range, he's going to have to reload his gun finally. Those cams still spotting Park, who has now made his way not only into sight, but into cover, and will be trying to go for a plate. Of course, he's going to be baiting it for just a little bit, try and bait Ren into his crosshairs. Still baiting. Those cams still spotting him, still know exactly where he is. He's making his way into the kids' room now, and now, again, within cover, he will be going for the plant. Ren is there! And oh my goodness, Ren finally gets the kill. That was a little bit too tight, a little bit too close, but Ren is there. That M4 Storm packs a punch when it needs to, and it definitely needed to. Eternity win their second round of the matchup, second round of the map, put themselves all on the board, close down that lead, and are looking to equalize the scoreline to go into their defensive half, or their attacking half rather, on even ground, so that they have a better, higher chance of actually winning this map. It's definitely not going to be an easy task, but it is something that they are able to do, going back into the basement site, which they were not all that close to winning either of the times that they had tried to defend it. They're going back down there again, this time foregoing the Warden, foregoing the Yella, foregoing the Wamai as well, taking instead the Azami. Of course, she can sort of create you a makeshift shield with her Kiba barriers. Of course, they act a little bit differently, and of course they regenerate throughout the round, so you don't really get to just chuck them out in the prep phase and forget about them. You have to be very, very careful in how you play. You have to be very, very smart in how you play, and it looks like Perpy will be playing that top floor. Hopefully not by himself, but in either case, he will be able to create himself new angles with those Kiba barriers. He will also be able to create himself a lot of cover with them as well. Of course, Azami is one of the most banned operators on the defense in the league so far, certainly in the Champions League as well. So to see her get past that prep phase is very, very surprising. But of course, I think that we're going to get to see a lot more Fenrir bans just as teams start to figure out how that operator works and realizing, well, this isn't something that I really want to play against. It is kind of difficult to really understand how it works, so I'd rather just not put myself at an immediate disadvantage, and Thuder could just be getting taken down here by the player who is already inside of Garage, and that will be Park, who will be making his way up those main stairs. Tash with opening pick again onto Thuder, who has just been so unlucky. He is 1 for 6 at this point on that opening pick, but that is Perpy immediately there for the refrag onto Park, not allowing Arctic Wolves to just run away with that advantage the way that they did the last time that this site was defended, and the way that they have tended to so far this entire matchup, with just a little over 90 seconds to go in the round. Glorious is still holding on top of these freezer stairs, but will fall back. Ren was there for support should he need it, and Glorious on the turnaround will find the kill onto Chips. Beautiful kill there, gaining the man advantage. That was a beautiful kill through the hatch, to drop the diffuser as well. Delay Arctic Wolves just a little bit more. There goes the Ionic Clone as well. Will get shot out, but Tash now in very low
Bomb located by
HP.
attackers.
Puts Arctic Wolves at quite a disadvantage. Perpy, unsure if he has been misdroned or not, will be relocating anyway, and will be covering up the angles that were made in this freezer wall. Will we get shut down? I'm just a noob on the refrag.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
Glorious is there with the swing, and now it's basically a 1 versus 2 as I'm just a noob is down but not out. Tash will be able to retrieve him. Glorious in such low HP. It may as well be a 2 versus 1, but of course Tash and I'm just a noob are both just a bullet's worth of damage away from death, so neither of them can really be too aggressive. There are only a couple ticks of the smoke from death as well. 20 seconds to go. I'm just a noob trying to push still from the freezer side, still trying to retrieve that diffuser. Tash putting pressure from that front side. There goes a grenade as well. I'm just a noob from an unsuspecting angle. Finds a Glorious. There goes Emiterm with the swing. Finds 1 versus 1. Emiterm full HP will find him with the SMG-11 in hand. It's a body shot. It's all he needed to finish up that round, to win another one for Eternity, and to finally put them at even ground for the first time since round 2. Eternity managed to find the equalizer in this half, put themselves on even ground, and are now looking to attack a very, very, very strong defensive team of Arctic Wolves. They so far weren't easy to deal with on the attack. They're going to be even harder to deal with on the defense, especially because they are known to be quite aggressive of a team. We saw them earlier. We saw them especially on that meeting attack. They droned out dining. They realized that the dining door had been barricaded off with the castle barricade, and they took that space immediately. So they're a very, very aggressive team on attack as well as on defense, and you can see that exactly right here as Park made himself a rotation hole into the closet space, which tends to be a sort of a breach left for the Ace or the Thermite to open up and to give the attackers a bit of an in into the site. But a lot of teams, this is starting to become quite a popular way of doing it, is they've decided to open that wall up from the defense and then force teams to clear out that entire area and force teams into their crosshairs, basically. And especially with this Kapkan, they're definitely looking to slow down Eternity as much as possible to, you know, find that round win and to find those kills, especially as that is a double Kapkan trap, enough to kill a man. Enough to kill an operator such as the Ash or the Dokkaebi, and enough to severely damage the rest of the lineup. Emiterm and I do believe that was Perpy as well, droning out these players. I think that was the Tash and Park as well. Park, the sole player, still playing inside of Tower. I do believe he's dropped off through the attic breach, or the attic rotate, rather, that he again did himself. But Ren is looking for the go-ahead to go into this tower window. Twift will find the first one onto Perpy, and that was really not the opening that they wanted. Eternity losing their Lion so early on after 2 of his Lion scans did go out, but didn't really find much. Now the final one will not be finding anything, as it will not be able to go off. The reach will be getting opened up by a secondary hard reach charge from Ren, as Park is still holding onto that position inside of the attic drop space. 90 seconds have gone already in the round, and Eternity seem a little bit lost on what to do and where to go. Those goo mines, just as much as the Kapkan traps, are just delaying them a little bit further, and Ren is so unlucky when it comes to finding those, but he will find one onto Tash. Suitor was there to find a follow-up onto Twift, and all of a sudden, Eternity have blown this round wide open. They will find one onto Justin Oob as well, and now Chips, I do believe, is playing still below. Parks trying to challenge onto these players very, very aggressively. Those 2 Kapkan traps still inside of the closet could be finding somebody, but Emiterm is already going for the plant as he made his way through that big window. Glorious taking a lot of damage.
Bomb diffuser.
from the C4. Thuder will find Park. Chips will find a Glorious, and Tash post-mortem will find a kill with those Kapkan traps. I said they could be finding someone, and they did. Ren now having to check these doorways that he thought were safe, having to check them, but it's a 1 versus 2 post-plant situation for Chips. This is his round to defend. This is his round to win, and he finds one. Ren pushes in through that breach. Doesn't really know where he is, and Chips is there. Finds the kill in just enough time. Just enough time to find the final kill, to get to that diffuser, to get it disabled, and to win the round. Unbelievable showing from Arctic Wolves. Unbelievable job from Chips to find that final kill, to get that diffuser disabled in time. And this match, once again, has started to slip away from Eternity, who found themselves even ground, but are now trailing again, chasing, trying to find something still of this matchup, trying to find themselves some points. They just need 3 rounds more, and then they can lose it at that point. They will give themselves a point in the standings, and they will put themselves at a bit of a better position. But of course, they will need quite a few more points to be able to catch up to a lot of these teams. Of course, the lowest of the top 4 is currently Arctic Wolves, who have 9 points to their name. Voltage just behind them, trailing with 8. Behind them, Red Dragon with 7, and then Eternity and Lumina both at 0. So Eternity ideally would sweep this and get 6 points, put themselves just behind Red Dragon, and then be challenging on into the next round.
10 seconds to
But
go.
even just 1 point will give them a little bit more security
5
in
seconds
this
to go.
season, and will build them a base to start chasing that 4th
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
place, and chasing that placement in the playoffs against the top 2 of Premier League, and of course the remaining teams. Twift on a very, very aggressive position, getting droned out, but he doesn't care as he finds that opening kill onto Suitor yet again, but he's there. Perpy is there with the trade, still trying to find another one at the Tash, deals so much damage, but was unable to find the kill as he ran out of ammo on his primary and then on his secondary as well. Shooting at that camera to boot, and while this round started quite explosively, quite a lot happened in that opening 40 seconds, or rather that opening 30. The opening pick going AW's way yet again, and Thuder again, so unlucky, but of course that was also the Jackal with him. So far, whenever he died, he was pretty, I don't want to say irrelevant, that's really not the word I'm looking for, but he was not as impactful of an operator. For example, when he was playing on defense, he was playing Jaeger, whose utility, of course, gets placed down in the prep phase, so long-term he is not that vital, but of course, being the Jackal, he was not able to find any more of those roamers, of which there were quite a few, but they did drop away from the positions that they were holding. They would be able to find them a little bit quicker and a little bit easier now if they still had that Jackal. Ying is in play as well. We tend to see her get played, specifically on this site's attack, quite often, as of course she is able to lock out a lot of these positions, and she is able to find pressure where not a lot of other operators are able to find it. But that Mira, the most banned operator in the current Revival League meta, was left for Arctic Wolves to play, and she will be causing quite a lot of issues for Eternity, who are still not able to clear those mirror windows. They are able to open up one of those from the hatch, but there's still one more of those facing the, I believe, laundry area, so they're going to have to
The attackers
try and find a way around that, or try and find a way through that. 35 seconds to go. They're looking to drop the meeting hatch. Park still alive, the most crucial operator at the moment. Of course, the Warden, who is able to completely counter those flashbangs, as well as Ying's Candelas. Park will find one into Emmy term. There go the flashes. There come the Candelas as well. Just a noob will find one into Perpy as well. Park still waiting for the Osa to push up from her position, and it doesn't even matter as Park and Tash are there to clean it all up. a Glorious and Ren cannot really do much in a 2 versus 4. Wow, that was a little bit iffy, but of course it's the SMG-12, so you don't really expect it to be clean whenever you see that gun getting played, but Arctic Wolves put themselves away from match point, put themselves a step away from match point, put themselves a step away from the A point, and are definitely looking to sweep this up in a 7-3 fashion. Eternity really struggling, unable to find wins after losing the opening engagement. It's happened so many times so far, and the only round when they were able to, actually there were 2 rounds that they were able to find success after that opening pick was back in round 5 and round 6, but they've really not had any success after that, and they didn't have any success before that. They are looking to end the streak of winning from AW again. The last time that Arctic Wolves won 2 rounds in a row, Eternity answered back with 2 rounds of their own. But of course, that was back when they were defending, and it was just a touch easier. Now they are attacking, and of course, they are getting shut down in that quite quickly by Arctic Wolves, now having to attack onto the meeting site. A tertiary site, for sure, but still a difficult site to attack, nevertheless. And that also once more. Foregoing a secondary hard breach, which some teams do like to bring whenever they're attacking this site, just to give themselves a bit more security, and now having to contest these spawn peaks, or potential spawn peaks from Twift, which they thought were spawn peaks, but it turns out it's actually just him holding onto that tower instead. And if he had shot through that window, he just might have been able to find a Glorious through 2 different barricades, or 3 rather. That would have been 3 different barricades. He's still holding on to that angle, and I think he's just waiting for pixels to change color on that broken barrier, broken glass, to find a kill there. Amiterm going in for the rappel. He could just be getting taken down. Twift is there with the shots, but he misses. Amiterm lives to see another day. Oh, it was actually information, as they had Valkyrie cameras inside of that tier 2 of the tower as well, and they still have that camera. No IQ on the side of Eternity to counter it, and Thuder will be the opening killer this time as he takes down Twift. Ash trying to go for a very early C4, and he will find a Glorious who was none the wiser, had no idea that was coming, and Tash, a prone position, drops down 1 hatch, is looking to drop down another. Despite that wall being open, they will be at a bit of a disadvantage now, as of course they don't have the OSA to help force players out of their positions and to help clear spaces a lot quicker and a lot easier. I'm still challenging onto him, Just a Noob, and I'm Just a Noob challenging right back. A minute only to go as Park will find Perpy Eternity yet again at a severe man disadvantage. Stalling for time as they're not really able to find themselves an entrance anywhere. And was that a vertical position? I don't know, but it is a down but not out for Ren. Amiterm will find death in the hands of him, Just a Noob, as will Thuder, and the round is over before it really even began. He was on drop as he got blocked. But I'm so confused by what that means. Oh, wow. Okay, so I've just gotten information about what exactly happened there, how the player got downed on that attic breach, and it turns out that the sight of his gun, or the scope of his gun, was covering up the player that was playing inside of attic. That was Just a Noob, the Oryx, in that round, and he was peeking him from that drop, but of course, because of the scope of his gun, he wasn't able to see that player, and he got downed. I was very, very confused about how that happened, because I was like, oh, there's no way that he got him. Turns out that there is a way, and that's exactly what happened. Twift shooting a drone, or was he doing a bit of a warning spawn peek? I'm not really sure, but I do believe he was trying to shoot a drone there.
5 seconds
Back upstairs they go. It is a site that they won quite convincingly the last time around.
Locate.
I say, knowing full well that it came down to a 1 versus 1. So it was a pretty close round for Eternity. They had the post plant, they just weren't able to hold on to the advantage that they had. For even just a couple seconds longer, they would have had the round, but of course they had just enough time to do it, and Twift is there to find Thuder yet again. Immediately traded out by Perpy, who was there quickly through the basement, or I think through the garage maybe, but nevertheless, shuts down the advantage that they gained from Twift's aggression, and Ren is taking up space inside of a trophy very quickly on as well, or inside of armory rather, my apologies.
Bomb located by attackers.
Those drones are coming in fast throughout the site, trying to find as many of these players as possible. And just holding a vertical angle could be finding the kill onto Ren if Ren is not careful. But Chips is down there as well, and Perpy will get shot down from that vertical angle, just as I called it by Just a Noob.
Target located. Second floor.
The man advantage going Arctic Wolves way once again, and Park will find another one to secure it even a little bit more. A Glorious finding finally the refrag onto Park, but still at a disadvantage. In a 2 versus 3 and just 90 seconds to go, they still have their hard breacher, who will get down, I believe, by a flying C4 through that opened breach, or what would be breach, but in Wolves' case, is just a rotation hole that they make to be able to see those attackers a lot quicker, to be able to test them a lot faster. Glorious will find them, just brilliant patience there from the Lion, but Tash is there with the swing. Will find the round, and I do believe that is game done, or map done rather, as Arctic Wolves take it 7-3. A brilliant closeout. Eternity were there for 3 rounds, tried to fight it back, nearly had 4 back in round 7, but they just weren't able to stop the train that was Arctic Wolves. And with Tash on the top, I do believe that we have to give him the MVP of this map. There is still one more map to go. It will be Villa. I unfortunately will not be casting it, as I have other commitments to go through. Hopefully you will get a replacement caster to come in after me. Otherwise, I really don't know what you're going to be facing instead. But in any case, that will close out this matchup. It is a 7-3 closeout from Arctic Wolves. Eternity still chasing points. Arctic Wolves build themselves a tougher and tougher base to beat for their opponents, as they are now 13 points ahead, I guess, of Eternity, and ahead of Lumina. 5 points, that would be, or 4 points, that would be over Vitical, their next contender. But yeah, that will close out this map. Villa comes to follow. Thank you everybody for watching, and stay tuned for the next map. Or was he doing a bit of a warn?